Hello everyone, my name is Ritu. I am an Indian living in the Netherlands for past 3 years. I moved here for my master in management and now I'm working in a Dutch Swiss company for over 1.5 years. Now for the video today and the upcoming videos, the main goal is going to be about giving you the right information that might help you with your journey abroad. It could be for your masters or it could be for your any higher studies or your job. So if you have any questions about my life or life in the Netherlands or how I decided to move, these videos are going to be very useful to you. Before we get into the video, let me also give you a quick brief into why I decided to actually make these videos. On my social media, I get a lot of questions about how is my life here, why did I decide to move, how did I decide to move, what all things that I need to prepare, what was the living expense like, how much funds did I need for the whole thing, how's my life now, am I like really enjoying it, or all about the finances, right? So all these questions. And then I did understand that it's not a few people having these questions, but a lot of people who are there who might want to move abroad someday and have these questions for themselves or for a friend. And I thought, why don't I make use of the knowledge I've gathered over the years before coming here and also after moving here, and like give you in a very chunkable, digestible format so it could be of any use to you. Now for the video today, if you're someone who's thinking to move abroad now, in future, or if not you, any of your friend, then this video is going to be very useful to you, because we are going to see the main chunks or the main buckets that are very essential while you're actually making that decision. So from making that decision to actually being there in the country, we'll be covering the main buckets. And at the end, I'll also try to actually give you like an example in that bucket format, so you can actually also remember something. So let's try, okay? First and foremost thing, while you're actually making that decision, is to ask the question why. Why do you want to move abroad? So with the why, you also mean the goal or the purpose. It could be different for different people, right? For some people, it could be a better lifestyle. For some people, it could be that they want to see a different culture, experience different life. For some, it could be financial freedom, new exposure, or reaching that height in their career, or learning something new, or doing a higher study to actually take that jump in their career, or it could be anything, right? So finding your why, finding your purpose, finding your goal is going to be very important. Make sure that you put it on a piece of paper, or you put it somewhere that is always there with you, because this whole journey from thinking to actually being there in the country is going to be a big roller coaster ride. So when you have those bumps, and if you have your goal, if you have your purpose clear, so you will always know that why you're putting all these efforts. So it'll always keep you focused. So that is first thing I would try to really emphasize on, right? So defining your purpose and then putting it somewhere that you can actually follow it. Now the second step, which is the research phase. And I cannot emphasize it more. Doing a thorough research is the most important thing. You're going to make a big decision, be it financially, be it time-wise. It's going to make a big impact, right? So you also need to make sure that you do a thorough research. For example, which country you would want to go to, what is the temperature there, what are the other problems that the country is facing, what is the inflation rate like, what is the average salary, the living expense, how much on an average a person can save if you have any contacts there, what is the distance of this country from your home country is going to be, and the time difference. So when you have to make the calls to your loved ones, like how it is going to be. So all these little questions you need to ask yourself. This will also give you a bit of the insights in the whole situation, like where you're going to go, and also a bit of confidence, because you'll already know like all these things. It'll also prepare you mentally, and I think that's very important. So doing a thorough research about all these things, and again putting in a piece of paper or putting in the Excel, it's going to be very useful. But for example, let's say if you just select, let's say, 5 countries in the world, and then what's the temperature like, what's the average salary, what is the inflation rate like, what is the distance of that country from your home country, how much do people save there, what are the main problems, what is the future projection going to be. So make this whole thing and have it there with you, so you have it this whole background information where you can always go to. Now in the research phase, once I've identified these little factors, now it's also going to be about the question how. This how question is also very important, right? So I've talked to a lot of people who want to move abroad, but they don't know how to. Some are like, can we just move, for example, from a job that, let's say, we are in the home country and we find a job in the destination country, and then we move, or we go on a spouse visa, or we go on a business visa, or we apply for some higher education, so all these questions, and if we apply for higher education, what kind of education we should choose for, something that the country really needs or something that really we are interested in, all these questions. And they're very tricky questions, and I mean it because I've talked to a lot of people, and also I think it was my situation as well, so I can understand pretty well. So defining that how would you want to go, and it doesn't have to be necessarily just the one way. I would say, like, make a few plans. So for example, plan A, plan B, plan C. So plan A is something that you truly want and that you would really want to move abroad through that option. But for example, if in case the plan A doesn't work out, what is going to be a plan B? You can put in the efforts and you can try. You're not very happy, but still you can do it. And then plan C is going to be completely something else. So having this whole view is going to help you a lot. Once you have this whole research phase where you know the whole detail and also the how, then we move on to the preparation phase, which is the third bucket. In the preparation phase, make sure you already know what kind of documents you will need. So passport, visa, what kind of other documents you will require, what is the time limit or timeline that you already need to start applying for. So these are going to be very important questions, and this is only going to come after you have identified how. And I'll explain more details in the example, so it just makes more sense. But doing that whole preparation in advance is going to make your life like way easier. It'll really reduce a lot of pressure, a lot of stress from your head while you'll be going through this whole process, right? And now the third bucket is preparation. You've already done your preparation, you're like prepared with everything. Then comes the fourth bucket, which is the action bucket. And then you just put in all your efforts, you use all your resources, be it talking to someone, be it connecting to someone, getting all the information, and then like literally applying with your best efforts. And I'm sure once you're done with this whole thing, you'll already be in your destination country. Fingers crossed for you. Now, so you have already understood these four buckets. I'm going to go through them quickly, and then we go into the examples. The first bucket is going to be defining your why, your purpose, your goal. The second bucket is about the research phase. So you figure out all the other details that is going to be important for you living in that country or in that place, and then also figuring out like how, like what way you're going to move abroad. The third bucket is preparation. So you prepare all your documents and you do all the basic work that's needed. And then the fourth one is action step, where you just go all in, use the previous three buckets for your best advantage, and now you're all ready. And for this example today, I'm going to take an example which is going to be about master studies, because I also did that, so perhaps I think it's fair on my behalf that I could explain that in a very short format. The first bucket was, why do I want to move abroad? So I always knew that I always wanted to move abroad. There was some spark inside me. I'll share all those details in the future upcoming videos. For me, it was definitely a better lifestyle, learning something new, doing a master degree, and also becoming financially independent. These were definitely my main whys, my main purpose. And I just put it there. So these four things are already there, right? Now comes your research phase. So I did a lot of research. I actually looked into like everything. For example, like I looked into the US, Canada, Australia, and Europe, and like identified what are the countries, what is the economy doing there, what is the weather like, the equality, the crime rate ratio, what is the economy doing there. So all those things, I really did this whole thing. So I knew a bit about the geography and how the countries are doing. I'm sure a lot of you might already be aware about it, but if in case you're not, then this research phase is going to be very useful. Now comes the how. So I was already doing a job after completing my bachelor's. It was like for 1 year and so I did my bachelor's in engineering and then did a job in sales and marketing. And I always knew that I wanted to do something in management. So I knew that with my limited experience and non-degree in management, the only option or the best option for me at that time was to actually do a master degree in management. So I already knew that, okay, something in management, and that has to be a master degree, of course. So it could be MBA or it could be something. So I did a bit of research. I looked for the management course and understood that, okay, master in management is a cool course. It's not like MBA. So with MBA, you need like 3+ years of experience. But with master in management, it's like 0 to, let's say, 2 years, like very limited experience. With that, you can just go in. So now my how is also clear, right? Then the preparation phase. For example, I need IELTS, I need GMAT, all those things, and then the other documents. So I already started preparing. So I quit my job, I started preparing for my IELTS and GMAT. So this was my preparation phase. So then I had my IELTS certificate, and then I started getting my letter of recommendation from my university. I started working on my statement of purpose, all these things. I will definitely give more details in the upcoming videos, but just so you know, for the preparation phase. So I did put in quite some efforts in the research and preparation phase. And then once it was over, I think from March, April, I just was like all in. With all my energy, I started applying for all these universities with whatever information I had. I really hope the content that I shared might have helped you in some way. In case if you have any particular question, make sure that you just put in the comment section. If you think that these videos are going to be useful, just make sure to subscribe to that red subscribe option, and also like the video, share with the people that you think might be useful too. I really hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to me. Until the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.